This is Miss Niebling
and Miss Price.
and today we're going to look at how we can punctuate the dialogue that we use in our stories correctly.
Now, there are a lot of rules we need to follow when it comes to punctuating and paragraphing dialogue, and today we're going to take a look at those rules. Well, a lot of times where we start is right here at this huge paragraph where we have different characters talking back and forth, but we're not following any punctuation or paragraphing rules.
We need to find a way to organize this paragraph so that it's easy for us to see which character is speaking at which point of time.
Right, and I think the first rule to follow always is that paragraphing rule. So what we want to do is we want to take that big one paragraph and turn it into 5 different smaller paragraphs. Because what's going to happen is every time a new speaker starts talking, they're going to get their own paragraph.
And as a result, you'll see here, Marty has a paragraph, followed by Andrea, followed by Marty, followed by Andrea. And we show these new paragraphs by indenting once to the right, using that tab button to indent over once. That is going to give us the organization that makes our writing easy to read.
Absolutely, and this is a great example of how much easier it is to figure out who's saying what. Now the next rule we want to look at is where do we put those quotation marks? So those quotation marks actually go around anything that is being said out loud. We wouldn't put quotes around the speaker tags, just around what the speakers are actually saying.
That's right, and it's easy for us to see who is saying what as soon as we use those quotation marks.
Right, and if you look at this, you're going to see how much there actually is dialogue in this one passage.
The next rule is all about where do we use commas to show the difference between direct quotations and dialogue tags.
Right, and so if you look at it, you'll see in the beginning, the first paragraph, we have an introductory expression. And this actually introduces what Marty is getting ready to say. So we put a comma after that introductory expression to show the difference between that and dialogue.
The next paragraph, where Andrea is exclaiming, it shows an interrupting expression. So she first says, "What?" and then we get to read about how she was saying it and an action that she was doing at the same time. That second comma followed the word sand because we're making sure that we show the connection between what she first said, "What?" followed by her ending thought, "Is that?" So those commas are necessary to help us keep track of her interrupting.
Right, and it shows that she's still saying the same sentence, the same thought. Now the next paragraph, you'll see that there is no speaker tag at all, expression, and that's because in this one, it's actually pretty easy to figure out that it's Marty talking because we have another indentation and we're flip-flopping back and forth between Marty and Andrea. Now if we had more speakers, if 3 or 4 or more people were talking, we'd actually want to identify them every time so that as a reader, I don't get lost.
So just remember that commas are used to create a difference for us between dialogue tags and quotations that the characters are actually saying.
Right. And the next thing we want to talk about is where do we put those quotation marks, and we place those outside of all of the punctuation. It doesn't matter what kind of punctuation we're using. It can be an exclamation mark, it can be a question mark, it can be a period or a comma. The quotation marks always come on the outside.
So just think about all the things that we say. Those quotation marks are going to be the last thing that we read as readers. It's going to be punctuation followed by a quotation mark.
Right, and so we need to just follow the rules that we have for punctuating and paragraphing. Now, if you're ever lost and you're saying, oh my gosh, I don't know what the rules are, just open up any fiction book. And anytime you see dialogue, just follow the way they're doing it because every author follows the exact same rules for punctuating and paragraphing.
We can learn a lot from the published authors that we read every single day. So now that you have seen some different examples of dialogue, we really hope that you can use these examples to make the dialogue in your stories even better.
It's a great way to liven up that writing is by adding dialogue. Good luck with your punctuating.